Welcome to the Mostly PT podcast. I'm Brant Bulmer.
I'm Alex Brutzman.
And today's episode is sponsored by Bass Pro Shops. Nothing like saying, I don't fish, but I'm in a frat. Joke's on you. I'm not in a frat, but I do fish. Welcome back.
You just contradicted yourself. Oh, that was funny. Sponsored, not sponsored.
Episode 20.
We don't want a lawsuit.
We're not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Sorry. Episode 20. We are...
You sure it's 20?
Yeah, it is. I checked.
Good. Sorry, it's been a while.
0.5% of podcasts make it to 20, so you could say it's a big deal.
The 20th episode. Do you think we'd ever make it to 20?
No.
I didn't think so either.
Technically, it's 21 with our audio only podcast.
That will be released at, what did we say, 10K? 100K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10K followers. Jeez.
That's going to be a fun episode. The minute and a half of you running down to get your DoorDash McDonald's.
Yeah. And I was breathing heavily.
Then you jumped on the last 5 sets of stairs or whatever.
That was
fun.
fun. That was fun.
Yeah.
Also, we probably should have said this before, but you should talk a little bit louder. Because in the videos I was watching, I couldn't hear you as well. Nonetheless,
I guess I need to project my voice better.
that is good. That is good.
Dear Lord.
NPTE practice questions.
Here we go. PT 365.
For all you students out
For
there.
all you students out there. Download the app if you haven't. Maybe we should do them as a sponsor one day.
We should.
Yeah. Question 1 from March 12th. A child is seen in physical therapy after her mother expressed concern that she had a leg length discrepancy. Examination and standing reveals right shoulder elevation compared to the left, unequal spacing between the upper extremities and the trunk, and the head positioned away from midline. Which condition is most consistent with the described clinical presentation?
Wait, so they're like this?
What do you... Yeah, I guess.
They just have bad posture.
Which condition is most consistent with the described clinical presentation? 1. Spondylosis. 2. Kyphosis. 3. Spondylolisthesis. 4. Scoliosis.
Oh, now I feel bad. Scoliosis.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah,
I feel
that's
bad.
why you should
Well,
listen.
first off, most people have a shoulder that's elevated. Regardless.
Usually your dominant arm is a little bit higher.
I believe it's lower.
Lower? Is it pec pulling maybe?
Because more muscle, maybe?
Yeah. Heavier.
Heavier?
Sure. Question number 2.
I got it right?
You got it correct. That was a basic MSK thing it said. Question 2 from March 14th, 2025. A patient reports numbness and tingling in the palmar aspect of the thumb, index, and middle fingers.
Median nerve.
Just listen.
Okay.
Examination findings reveal pain with resisted pronation and a negative Tenell's sign at the wrist. Which of the following conditions would the therapist most likely suspect? 1. Carpal tunnel syndrome. 2. Pronator syndrome. 3. Anterior interosseous syndrome. Or 4. Cubital tunnel syndrome.
Pronator syndrome.
That is correct.
I'm confused why Tenell sign would be negative, though. I mean, I don't think it's very specific, but...
Do you want me to read it to you?
Tenell sign would be... Right? That's tapping at the...
Carpal tunnel. Yeah, that's why it's negative.
Pronator syndrome is also with the median nerve, though.
Palmar nerve.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though it's in these 3
Palmar
fingers?
nerve is median nerve. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We're looking really stupid right now. Question 3.
We'll just move on.
We're gonna move on. Another neurological question from March 15th. A physical therapist determines through examination that a patient exhibits poor, 2 out of 5, strength of the adductor pollicis and a positive Fremont sign. The therapist should most likely expect a palsy involving which
Ulnar
of the
nerve.
following nerve? Ulnar nerve is correct.
Yeah, that's
Do you want to show what a Fremont sign is?
You have a sheet of paper and their thumb looks like this instead of this.
Yep, can't pull it.
Because they can't adduct their thumb.
Brant went 3 for 3.
It's actually good. Because I know my MSK questions, but when we get into the other one, all the other ones, it's kind of 50-50.
50-50.
Well, right now, maybe not back in my prime days.
Back in your prime, you're a little bit better.
Yeah, probably.
As soon as you stop studying, you get a little bit worse. All right.
What a time. March Madness. March Madness is upon us. Tournament's going on right now.
Duke's winning.
Duke's winning.
Who'd you have as your champ?
I made 3 brackets.
No.
Well, because I'm in 3 groups.
Oh, no.
So, the one that I'm
That's a tough point.
my best bracket, I have Tennessee winning. My final 4 is Florida. Let's see. Florida, Duke, Tennessee. Who's the other one?
Houston?
No.
That'd be the Tennessee region.
What does it? I don't even know who the 4th one is.
St. John's or
no, I didn't.
Auburn? Auburn.
I
It
don't
would have been
think
on top. It would have been on
either.
top. Michigan State?
No.
Texas Tech?
No. What's another 4 or 5 seed maybe? Oh, Iowa State.
Yep, they were the 3.
Iowa State. Yep.
Or were they the 2? No, they were 3. Michigan State was 2. Yep.
And then I have Florida against Tennessee and Tennessee winning it.
Here's the problem.
Okay.
As a dedicated college basketball fandom, Brant doesn't really fall into that category.
I only
would
watched
say.
in March.
You should make one bracket.
I'm in 3 groups.
You make one bracket and you put the same bracket in all 3 groups. That is true bracketology sports fandom right there. You ride or die with one bracket.
Well, I spent 2 minutes filling out 3 brackets, so. Let's see. Wait. What's your what app are you on? CBS or March?
I'm on CBS, ESPN, and March Madness Live.
It's on all.
I'm
on all platforms.
I'm in 5 different groups. 6
Brett's
different?
55 on all platforms.
I'm in 5 or 6 different groups, and it's the same bracket for all the groups.
Okay, how many points do you have right now? What's the percentage of picks? What is it?
Like 70% or less now.
I'm 68%, and I spent 1 minute filling.
I'm right around there too. It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter if you do research or not. It is if you have a decent understanding of basketball and how the tournament works.
This year it might actually matter though.
If you went chalk, but you picked all the favorites to win,
you were actually doing pretty.
You were doing pretty well, and usually that's not the case.
And that's okay. That's part of the discussion that I want to talk about. I feel like the NIL and the transfer portal have completely ruined March Madness.
I'll make this point. You are slightly correct. I am totally on board with you. That now the Blue Bloods and the bigger schools are now being able to pay their players, which leads to better recruiting. And the 4-star athletes don't sneak down to the mid-majors and they can't win as 12, 13, 14 seeds anymore because they're going to the Power 4 schools to get paid a lot of money. It's going to be interesting to see how it actually develops over the next 3 to 5 years. If it continues to go,
it's probably just going to get worse.
Pretty chalk, because it's basically ruining the best.
There's no excitement in it.
That's also a thing.
Well,
that's how I know you're casual. That's how I know you're casual.
Excuse me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Part of the problem, like you said, people are moving on, getting more money, right? But the teams. So what I like to see is a 16 beating the 1. The 14s beating the 2s.
Absolutely.
All right? You know why that doesn't happen anymore? Because why did those 16 seeds beat the 1s? Because it's a team that they've been playing together for 4 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay?
That's true.
Now that doesn't happen because, someone's good, they move on. Just like the manager for that one team.
McNeese.
He already moved on.
He's going to NC State.
He already moved on.
He signed 12 deals worth 6 figures, so he's pretty set for the next 5 years of his life. Yeah, I was so sick of him.
I kind of was too.
Amir Khan is his name. Cool kid, probably nothing.
Oh, there goes HIPAA.
He's not a patient. He's a global figure right now.
Global, okay.
Anyways,
what was your Final 4?
Duke, Michigan State, St. John's, who lost yesterday, which is sad, and Houston. And Duke is going to win it. They have the best player in the country and the best team in the country. And
I've never even seen Tennessee play a game.
They're pretty good offensively.
They are?
Yep.
I heard their defense is good on TikTok.
They're a good basketball team.
I use TikTok to make my bracket.
Cool.
Thanks.
I want to make I like the point that you made, but that you like to see the upsets and stuff like that. Here's the problem with casual basketball viewers or the people that only watch the March Madness tournament. They're salivating. Good drink. Salivating for the 15 beating the 2 or the 14 beating the 3 or the 16 beating the 1 every year, and they're expecting every game to go down to the wire and have a buzzer beater or something like that.
Why wouldn't you?
I get it. It's fun to watch, but personally,
especially for the people that don't watch basketball.
right? I'm saying casual fans.
Probably more of the. I bet you there's more people that watch March Madness that don't normally watch a whole lot of basketball.
Yeah, there's more people that watch the Super Bowl than watch the
diehard basketball fans.
There's more people that watch the Super Bowl than the regular NFL season. Anyways, my point. It doesn't have to be all of the upsets happening and it to go down to the wire in every game for it to be a really good tournament. It's been a really good tournament. There's been a lot of good basketball games that are decided by 6 to 8 points instead of coming down to the last shot every time. You can have respect for the tournament and saying, hey, this is your Sweet 16 and Elite 8 are going to be pretty much the better teams. It's going to be some really good basketball to watch. Just because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday you didn't see Jack Golke go off for 30 points and beat Kentucky, it's not that big of a deal.
But that's what you want to see. Those are the stories that
one of them is
want.
cool. One of them is cool.
They want the guy that.
One of them is cool.
You know what? He came up from the jump. All right. No one believed in him. 5'5", probably has red hair. 10 threes a game.
It's
being
cool.
A 1 seed.
It's cool. It's fun to
none
watch.
of that anymore.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to root for the underdog. I totally agree. Too much of it is dumb.
Yeah, I mean, everything in moderation.
One Cinderella story a year is great.
Which we had none this year.
I'm fine with it because it's really quality basketball right now.
What's quality basketball to you?
Good competition.
Bounce pass.
Like
that?
Quality, like competition-wise, the teams are evenly approachable. Or there's not...
All the good teams are evenly... Yes.
So when you get down to the later weekends where it's a Sweet 16 to Elite 8 Final Four, you're going to see the best teams in the country play for the national championship.
Don't make it a tournament of 64 teams. Make it a tournament of 16 teams. Then, if that's the way it's gonna go.
I don't
the
mind
16 best teams.
The best 2 days in the entire sporting calendar are Thursday and Friday of March Madness. That's like you can't argue that.
Yeah.
32 games in 2 days is utterly insane. Like that, the amount of sports content you can view at once is phenomenal in America. Like that's really cool, and it's really cool to see the underdog in the Cinderella story. I'm just saying, with the brand of basketball they have built this year and under NIL and the transfer portal, the more the tournament actually goes on, the better it's going to get. Instead of it all being the hype right in the beginning, and then it kind of fizzles out because the best team's going to win. Now there's 6 really good basketball teams still alive that can win the tournament.
But that okay.
NC State last
still
year
can happen with some upset.
NC State last year was the outlier. They were never going to win a national championship, even with DJ Burns, and they
never say never.
They were a sub
Never say
they were a sub 500 team that won their conference tournament, and they went on a run. They got hot at the right time. Congratulations to them. Is that team ever going to compete for a national title?
They could.
No, they didn't. They lost in the Final Four.
That's a case study, and we'll go over one today.
I felt like that was a very good argument.
Yeah.
That's
Your perspective and my perspective, the reason you view basketball to why I view basketball are different. So our opinions are going to be different. I respect your opinion. I respect my own opinion.
I respect your opinion. I respect my own opinion. We need to talk more ball. I
can't really talk a lot of ball. I just play ball.
Maybe we need to do a podcast where we're shooting hoops. I went to Family Wellness the other day.
Yeah. By yourself?
No, with my roommate.
Oh.
And I played pickup with some guys. I just lit it up.
Really? What time did you play?
1:32
on a Saturday.
Yesterday. I couldn't miss. I was shooting like 60% three, and no one would put a hand up. It was dumb. It was like uncontested threes all game. We played 2-on-2 to 11. 2 games. We played probably 8 games. 2 games I scored 10 points of the 11.
This guy knows basketball.
Hey, I was out of my mind. I was unconscious. Puppies in order.
Pickup player of the year.
Yeah, I should be. I'm the most improved volleyball player.
You are.
Our
this year,
Wednesday
yes.
Yeah,
you've been playing out of your mind.
Out of my mind.
Last 2 weeks. What'd you change? Your mindset or
your
hitting's been better.
We went to open gym.
Just for the viewers out there, we're in a volleyball league, co-ed.
We went to open gym. Some of our teammates went to open gym, and we practiced like the run up and like actual contact. The thing that I've improved on the most is like actual contact with the ball.
Biomechanics of it.
Well, instead of like my normal, like if I was going to throw, like reaching all the way back and coming all the way through, like if I was going to hit, it's just a simple go down
That's all it took, was just a little bit of practice.
That and the actual practice of the footwork to run up to the net so I'm not just flailing all over the place. More body control. I went from the cognitive stage to the associative stage, and now I'm leading into the autonomics phase. Little neuro rehab there for you. Phys rehab.
That was good. That was good.
Our professors would be so proud of you.
That was good. Okay. Let's. I think we went a little bit off topic, but that's okay. That's what happens on podcasts.
That's how this goes.
That's how this goes.
Welcome to
prepare
this,
5 minutes before.
If this is your first episode watching, this is a great episode, by the way. This is off to a great start.
A decent episode. Hopefully, one of us does not swear, and we have to restart.
AKA one of us.
Okay. Would you rather? It's a good one.
Oh, this is
a good one.
This is amazing.
I don't really know where I'm going to go with this.
Can I read it?
Sure.
Okay, would you rather? Would you rather fight a chicken every time you got into a car, or fight an orangutan once a month but you get a sword?
Just a crazy question.
That's
mind-boggling.
Completely asinine.
I don't know what that means.
Crazy.
It's kind of like swearing, but...
No, that's just a vocab word.
Alkaline.
No, that's space.
All right.
I'm taking the orangutan.
You'd pick every month you'd fight an orangutan?
Okay. I know I do this thing where we need to clarify some things. What does fight mean?
They're trying to kill you.
Does fight mean kill?
Well, I mean, a chicken's not going to kill you. It has to be kill because why would it why would it just be like, oh, the orangutan's trying to pull your ear? Like, no, the orangutan's trying to kill you.
So you have to
the chicken's probably trying to bite you.
You have to peck you.
It's more like, would you rather be annoyed every time you get in a car, or would you rather risk your life every month with an orangutan? That's the question.
I'm taking the
That's
orangutan.
a rephrase.
Orangutan, 10 times out of 10.
You're not killing. Okay, maybe one time you could kill the orangutan, but 10 times. If you had to do it 10 times, 10 months, you're probably dying one of those months. A sword's not. Imagine you whiff it. An orangutan is one of the most dangerous animals on the planet.
They don't get the sword.
You know how dangerous the orangutan is?
But you have time to prepare. You have time to build
strength. You know how hard
strength.
it is? If I had a sword and I tried to cut your neck, just cut your head off, it's not going to take one little swipe. It's going to be multiple jabs at your neck.
You're really underestimating.
And then you have an orangutan, you can't even see their neck. You're like this.
You're incredible.
Where do you go with that?
You're incredibly underestimating the damage you can do with a sharp object.
I'm sure you could hurt the orangutan, but it can still kill you.
Here's my argument.
I wouldn't risk my... You know what? Here's my argument. I just won't drive cars.
Yeah, that's my thing. How often do you get into a car? At least every day if you're going to work or school or whatever. I've gotten in my car today 3 times.
You know how fast I could kill a chicken?
You know how...
Hit a chicken. Grab it by the neck and go like that. It's dead. That's the most humane thing to do. It dies almost instantly. You know what? Dead chicken, and you get a meal.
What if you
get a meal after?
Okay, you're going.
Oh,
what
am I having for lunch? I'm having a chicken because it went into my car.
I guess
that's a free chicken.
Then
Some people die for chicken. Like they don't have any food. You get a free meal every, 3 times a day because I'm getting in the car 3 times. 3 chickens. You get a chicken. You get a chicken.
You have to clean it and then carve it up, and that would be so much work. I mean, you get the resources.
Orangutan doesn't taste good.
Actually, I would keep the chicken and raise it for eggs because we're in an egg shortage right now. How about that?
There's another.
Stupid.
But there's another
chicken
point right there.
Chicken is the wrong pick. Could you imagine? You're going to the post office, the grocery store. You go in for 5 minutes, go get your stuff, you come out. So when you got into your car, you have to fight the chicken, drive to Walmart, go into Walmart, come out with groceries, fight another chicken just to go home. That would be so annoying.
That would be 10 seconds out of my day. Just give me 10 seconds, that chicken's dead. Yeah, I might get a little some bites here and there.
It's every day for the rest of your life.
And if I get sick of it, I won't be in a car that day. You know what? I'm gonna ride my bike to school. I'm gonna ride my bike to the clinic. Oh, I don't want to fight a chicken today? Let me ride my bicycle.
I'm taking the orangutan. I think I could take an orangutan.
That's not what I'm arguing. I'm not saying you can't kill an orangutan with a sword. I'm sure you could, but you could not do consistently every month.
I'm saying
you're a dead man, and I am full of chickens.
You would get it's like the inconvenience that every time you have, it doesn't have to be your own
Also,
car. It could be someone else's car.
I just came up with another thing.
Time out.
You have to fight an orangutan every month. I don't have to fight a chicken because I have free will of should I drive a car today or should I not. You have an orangutan every month, no matter what. Point solved.
Brand.
Good night, America.
Brand, you don't live in a walkable city. Like, that would be, your communication would be hindered forever.
I'm just saying I have that option on a Saturday where I don't need to drive. I don't need to fight a chicken. I might go eat noodles somewhere. I don't want to eat chicken that day.
It's a really good question.
It's a really good question, but I really think I have the right answer. Let us know at home.
That's the thing about would you rather questions is there isn't a right answer. It's all opinion based.
I don't think you know how deadly an orangutan is.
I don't
How
think
big
you know how
orangutans
annoying a chicken would be in your car.
You know what? I grew up with chickens. We had 10 chickens.
I had banties too.
I got bit by a turkey. It wasn't that bad.
Every day, every time you get into a car.
It wouldn't be every day because I would decide if I want to be in a car or not. I'll ride the train. There's no trains here, but...
Like I'm saying, there's not very many other forms of transportation besides walking or riding a bike that you can get places in a large city.
Motorcycle, moped.
That's cheating.
It's not cheating.
That's cheating.
That is not cheating.
That's literally cheating.
That is me deciding I do not want to be in a car. All right. Good. That's a good would you rather. Let's move on to the...
Let us know in the comments, would you rather fight the orangutan once a month or a chicken every time you get into a car?
Would you rather risk your life every month or have free chicken? All right. Case study. We're gonna do a case study today for you guys. We did another one like 6 months ago. I'm gonna read it. Alex is gonna kind of. So here's the thing. I'm gonna read the case study. You can ask more subjective questions if you want more information. I'll probably make it up because there's no other information. And then you're gonna give me your objective, what you would do, because the objective's already on here, and then we'll go into treatment.
This is an MSK practice.
Buckle down here.
Great, now I get to make myself look like an idiot.
A good start. You really believe in yourself. That was mean, sorry. All right, Sue.
Good name.
Sue this is also fake. Like, this is not a real patient.
It's
We're not
fake.
breaking hip up.
This is...
Sue is a 53-year-old female with a 5-month history of right shoulder pain and decreased active range of motion that gradually developed. She reports intermittent symptoms that have been gradually worsening with daily activities such as overhead motions like reaching into a cupboard, putting on her bra, or reaching behind her waist to grab her belt. Wow, this is going to be a lot. She describes her symptoms at rest as achy and stiff. She rates it at a 2 out of 10. Pain. With the activities previously mentioned, she describes her symptoms as very sharp. That is rated at a 6 out of 10. Her sharp pain will subside within 5 to 10 minutes. Significant functional limitations include limited ability to perform her usual work painting, limited ability to perform volunteer work due to pain with lifting, and limited ability to care for her grandchildren. She babysits her grandchildren 2 nights per week. She has no prior history of shoulder injuries. She noticed that her right shoulder feels stiffer than her left shoulder when trying to unclasp her bra or put on a belt. Unclasp. She states her stiffness improves throughout the day, but the more she uses her right shoulder, the more her pain becomes a constant burning, and she rates at a 6 out of 10. Wow, that's a good subjective. She states she is fearful of using her right arm because the more she does, the more it hurts. She's unable to lie directly at her affected side. That will cause her pain to increase increase to a 6 out of 10 and will take about an hour to ease after taking 800 milligrams of ibuprofen. That's 4 tablets, 4 big tablets. She has a history of neck pain with nerve pain that went down her right arm into her thumb that she saw a physical therapist for 2 years ago. She only saw them for a few visits due to always feeling worse after treatment. Currently, she denies any numbness or tingling in her head, hands, or arms, but she is not sure if that is what is causing her symptoms in her shoulder. She is currently taking medication for hypertension, depression, and hypothyroidism. She states that she also was diagnosed with lung cancer 7 years ago, which was treated by getting a partial mastectomy. She states that she has been in remission since then, but she has a follow-up scheduled for her oncologist in 2 months. She is self-employed as a painter, I already said that, and reports that she cannot stop working as she does not have any other income. She reports she finalized her divorce and moved her to be closer to her grandchildren about 4 months ago. She does not have a secondary income. Patient's goals: reduce her pain so she can return to her prior activity levels and continue working. Let me take a sip. Did you get all that?
Okay, lot going on with this patient. Where do I want to start? Let's just go.
Well, I don't know if you even need more subjective questions because she provided basically everything.
Very lengthy and good, thorough subjective.
You did a good job of active listening too. You didn't say anything.
I was making facial expressions. So it's like, oh, that's a lot of stuff.
Do you want me to say like the disability index? No. Let's go right into any thoughts just based off subjective of what might be going on.
Like primary, secondary hypothesis?
Yeah.
Primary is frozen shoulder.
Because of female age.
Hypothyroidism.
Yep. Good.
And like the stating of my shoulder feels stiff. I think that's kind of a thing too. The decreased range of motion, overhead movements, see that common too.
You got to speak louder because this is
where I start to fumble apparently. Yeah, I think that'd be my primary is frozen shoulder. Secondary, I mean, you have everything on the map. You have a radicular pain. It could be coming from your neck. You got somatic referred pain. What else is that?
Yeah,
it could
probably
be
enough. Well, red flag.
Cancer referral, organ referral. What else?
Organ referral. What would be the organ?
Is it right shoulder?
Yes.
Hepatic and biliary. So gallbladder and liver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she also had had lung cancer, so
that goes to the left shoulder. Pancreas.
I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. It could be cancer. It could be from that too. Visceral referral, cancer. No mechanism of injury. So
okay, so at the start, what do we do to? Because first thing, you want to make sure that it's something you can treat.
Is this patient appropriate for physical therapy?
Yes,
I believe so. Yeah, I think this would be. Well, if you want to do it that way,
you could just
like a treat
safety net them.
Yeah, like I think maybe you should bump up your oncology appointment just to make sure everything's going on there. That could be.
If it was cancer, though, it's not like it's gonna be. I'm just gonna let you talk. Sorry.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from too.
Okay, so primary is
let's just run through the SINS
shoulder.
Let's run through a SINS model.
Okay, what's their
severity is moderate. 6 out of 10 is the worst pain. Irritability is high because it takes very little to come on and it takes 5 to 10 minutes to go away, plus the 1 hour of laying on the side. So I'd say the irritability is very high. Nature, we already did the primary, secondary, and a red flag. PDDM, I'm leaning more nociplastic. She has a lot of contextual factors. There's comorbidities in there.
5-month history though.
Cognitive, emotional.
It didn't get the 6 month.
I know, but
it's
either 3 or 6. It depends on what you look at.
I don't like the 6 month rule, anyways.
I think it's more nociplastic than anything. But I think there's definitely some nociceptive drivers going on in this case. But I think the time length, the comorbidities, the divorce, not being able to care for her grandchildren, anxiety, depression, all that adding up, I think is driving it more towards nociplastic. Is what I would say.
More? Do you guys do like percentage of like it's this percentage? So you say it's more nociplastic.
I'd say nociceptive 40%, cognitive emotional 20, comorbidity 20, contextual 20.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And you could adjust those. I'd have to reread the case again to maybe give you go bump that one up to 30.
I'm not going to reread it.
Yeah, that was a lot of information. Okay, stage.
Well, we don't need to go through all of that, you know. What would be your main, you don't have to go through the whole objective, but like what would be your main things that you would like to look at?
I think we need to do some nerve testing, some upper motor neuron lesion, or median nerve, radial nerve testing. What's it, cluster, or what's it called?
Cluster?
No. Neurodynamic test.
Yeah.
That just to rule out
a nerve thing.
Radicular pain. Yep, to get that out of there.
And why do you think she
has a history of it?
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's, if you're going under special tests, I think that's got to be there for sure. You could do like a cluster for rotator cuff related shoulder pain. There isn't one for frozen shoulder, but she fits
your voice is going.
You could do a rotator cuff related shoulder pain cluster, but she's probably flared up enough where everything's going to hurt. So I don't know how.
Yeah. So what are your main things? Give me your main things that you're actually going to do.
I think you need to get or do neurodynamic testing for sure. I need to check active range of motion. I need to check strength. I need to check it bilaterally to see what her other side is.
Of what? The shoulder?
Yeah, and then I need her elbow and neck for sure too. above and below the joint. I wouldn't expect to see any elbow differences, but cervical we could see some changes, and then maybe some thoracic stuff too. Some thoracic extension.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So I will go through the objective. They did vitals. Okay.
Yeah, that's number. Yeah, I should have listed it out. That's the most important thing with this patient right there is probably vitals. Maybe.
Yeah.
But they don't have any cardio problems. But I think that's just to see where they're at. What's the vitals?
Vitals is, I'm just gonna say, pretty normal. 138/88 for blood pressure, just pretty normal. I mean, posture I'm not gonna go through. She was kyphotic, but
okay, that's
expected. All right, functional screen demonstrates reaching overhead and reaching behind her back increases symptoms at end range.
Okay, so combine.
All right.
Yep.
Monotones normal. Dermatomes normal. Reflexes are normal.
Good.
Cervical spine, range of motion. So right rotation 46 degrees, left 50 degrees, right side bending, moderate loss and painful at end range.
Okay.
Left side bending, moderate loss but pain free. So it hurts going side bending to the right. Quadrant testing within normal limits in all directions and pain free, which is weird.
What's quadrant testing?
Combined motions.
Oh, okay.
Which
the cervical spine?
Combined motion.
That doesn't make any sense for side bending and.
That's interesting. I'm pretty sure that's what quadrant testing is. Elbow within normal. That's cleared.
Okay.
Shoulder. Left cleared. Right flexion to 160 degrees and reproduction of her ache at end ranges.
Okay.
Extension fine, but so the range of motion is fine, but reproduction of her ache at end range. Abduction 150 degrees with the reproduction of her ache. Most severe starting at 80 degrees.
Okay.
External rotation with arms at side, moderate loss and reproduces sharp pain at end range.
Okay.
Internal rotation, moderate loss and reproduces sharp pain.
Okay.
She's all over the place right now.
Yeah.
Manual muscle testing. All right, strength's fine. Pain reproduced with resisted abduction, internal rotation, and external rotation on the right.
Okay.
Elbow, strength's fine for the elbow. Pain with right elbow right elbow flexion, extension, and pronation and supination.
Dear Lord.
My gosh. I mean, it makes sense if you said it was nociplasty.
Yeah, that's all that I'm getting from this is widespread symptoms, and I think it's a capsular problem, but the nociplastic perception of this.
It's on top of that.
Yeah.
All right. Passive range of motion. Left shoulder cleared.
Okay.
Right shoulder. Okay, so range of motion for passive is equal to the left, or equal to active range of motion. So the limitation she had in active is the same, with capsular and feels in all planes.
Okay, it's not a strength issue.
So she was limited with some motions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she has the same motion with passive range of motion too. Okay. Accessory motion, hypomobile with cervical spine, CPAs, UPAs.
That's to be expected, yeah.
Shoulder, inferior and posterior glides normal. Right posterior and inferior glides are reproducing her ache and hypomobile with capsular end feel.
Okay, yeah.
Spurling's positive. Distraction negative. And they deferred upper limb neurodynamic testing.
Why's that?
Because they couldn't reach this test position.
Okay, you could have done 2 then.
What's 2? Oh, like
median
this.
nerve down here.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Painful arc on the right. Shocker.
Yeah, that's just to be expected.
Okay. Increased tenderness palpation of right AC joint. Anterior shoulder near long head of the biceps. Posterior lateral right shoulder.
Everywhere.
She kind of covers all of the shoulder.
That's a lot of stuff.
Okay, so if she were to go, after this, she goes, what do you think this is?
Shall we do my patient education?
You don't have to go fully, and you just say like what.
But my primary, the stiff shoulder would be my classification.
That's still, I think.
I don't know if it's true frozen shoulder, because I mean she's still pretty mobile, besides her external and internal rotation, because it's moderate loss. So is that, if it's 90 is the norm, is it 45? Because then if it is, then it's probably more frozen shoulder like. I think it's stiff shoulder, frozen shoulder with on top of nociplastic pain for sure, just because of all the contextual factors, comorbidities, cognitive emotional stuff. but I'm leaning more towards the stiff shoulders being my classification.
I feel like her nociplastic, like if you were to put her as nociplastic, like yeah, the cognitive and like psychosocial factors would put her in nociplastic, but like her symptoms are pretty localized.
Yeah,
It's
she's
not
got pain,
like
but
if you think nociplastic, it's like central sensitization where pain everywhere.
it's in her neck, shoulder, and down to her elbow.
Well, like
I mean,
if you're thinking nociplastic, it's more like I just have pain
everywhere.
like everywhere.
I understand that,
But she does have like the psychosocial. That's why when
There's
you
a lot
said
of yellow
contextual.
flag, yeah.
That's why you said the PDDM.
yeah,
She was in that.
there's a lot of yellow flags here at play too. I'm still sticking with my primary diagnosis.
No, I think frozen shoulder would be also my primary.
Yeah.
Just because passive and active are not just because the big thing passive and active are limited the same amount.
Yep.
That's pretty. That's like the hallmark sign of frozen shoulder.
Good telltale sign.
And with she's a female, 53 years old,
Fits right in his demographic.
and hypothyroidism, like that's
Yeah.
literally all the.
If she had diabetes too, that'd just crank it up even higher. I don't think she had diabetes.
Would you say that? Would you use the term frozen shoulder?
Adhesive capsulitis.
You'd say that.
I would say stiffness in your shoulder, and if they want a true medical diagnosis, I'd say adhesive capsulitis, or also known as frozen shoulder. If you have heard or have any other experiences with family members or friends that have had this, that's what I think is going on in your shoulder. Prognosis is we want to move you through comfortable range of motion throughout what? Talk louder. We want to move you through a comfortable range of motion. We don't want to stretch you too far, too hard, because that's shown to have negative effects. It all depends on.
Really?
Yeah, like you don't want to crank on it. Like low level, long duration stretching is good, but you don't want to. If they're at 160 flexion, you don't want to be pushing it into grade 4 the entire time if you're doing a P round. Yeah, I think an active assisted range of motion or an active range of motion program is going to be very good for this patient. I think we need to, right now, modulate her symptoms a little bit. Maybe that's starting off with some isometrics, some isometric holds, maybe icing if it's really that bad, or we start to do some stuff and then she flares up really bad.
You're gonna put a cold pack on her?
We could. It's day one. Maybe that's my treatment for the days. Maybe do a little bit of manual, a little petrifage, effleurage, do a little bit more mobs on her neck and her shoulder and her thoracic spine. Maybe a manip. Thoracic manip if she likes it.
Yeah.
We
Would you
do a lot of
manual? Well, I guess.
Right now, I would do a lot of manual therapy.
Yeah.
Probably one billing unit for definitely the first visit.
What would be your education on the manual therapy you apply?
We're giving you input into your neurological system to try to calm it down. We have a lot of nerves and bones and joints in our neck, into our shoulder, into our arm that move, and when our nervous system gets angry or there's inflammation somewhere, that can cause those nerves to hurt. So we just want to try to calm down the nervous system, give you another input to do maybe some diaphragmatic breathing, but she's not really that. And 6 out of 10 pain, but we could do a little bit of diaphragmatic breathing. We do a lot of things to help this patient, help modulate their pain, especially the first few visits. Hopefully bring that down, lower her irritability and severity, and then maybe progress into some more movement stuff, and then maybe add a little bit of strengthening too. I would like to see her at least once a week if she can't make that work because she's self-employed, has to watch her grandkids, something like that, going through a divorce. Every other week, maybe once a month, fine. I just need to give her a thorough home exercise program to make sure she's going into active range of motion or active assistive range of motion, into comfortable ranges, not stretching it too far.
Okay, that's good. This is one thing that I've noticed, like, and you don't talk a lot about in school. Maybe you do, but like you said, once a week, at least once a week or once a month. Like when you're talking to the patient and you go, "Oh, we could see you once a week or once a month," like they're gonna pick the once a month probably.
You got
so like what? And I've had that. Like that's a problem that you almost have to be more like we're gonna do
like
this
an assertive kind of thing.
Also like get their thoughts, right? Like say like, oh, typically I would, since you've had pain for this long, I would like to see you this amount. Like say why.
Totally agree. I think you also need to keep in mind the shared decision-making model.
Yeah.
And give them the option to, maybe, because I'm
You
saying,
can't give them too many options.
I know. You don't. If you give someone the latter, the easier option, 90% of the time, someone that's really unmotivated or in a lot of pain, they're gonna take the latter option. They're gonna try to take the easy way out instead of having to come to therapy. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But like in frozen shoulder case with like supervised neglect, You know what that is?
We don't really
We're
need to be
talking-
supervised with
Like we give you a home exercise program, we check on you once a month as the same outcomes as if they came in 3 times a week, and we stretched them.
with what though? That's with frozen shoulder.
Yeah, there was a study like in 2017. We just talked about it, so that's why I'm giving her the option of saying you can come in once a month because there's research that supports it that she doesn't need to be in therapy twice a week. Would I like to see her in therapy twice a week to start? Yeah, just to modulate her symptoms and kind of build a therapeutic alliance with her, so she trusts me to keep coming back and returning, and then she can help manage her symptoms on her own once she gets capable, build up her confidence a little bit, build some intrinsic decision making, or internal locus of control.
Yep.
Do a lot of things.
That's interesting. You think it's just because of a time thing of why it doesn't matter? Like they get better on a home exercise program or therapy? It's because just time's the variable that didn't.
In frozen shoulder, a lot of times.
It's just time,
Yeah.
which is what. You know the prognosis for frozen?
Up to 2 years. Yeah. I would say what we want to see is keeping you, she's already, I mean, with 160 flexion, that's within functional limits. 150 is I think the cutoff for it, or 140. She's already basically there with flexion and abduction. So she's being able to, it's just the pain thing now.
She's in the painful stage.
Yeah.
If you were to,
There isn't actual stages of frozen shoulder. They don't like to refer to it anymore.
They don't?
No,
I think
like
it can be helpful.
The freezing, frozen, thawing. I could
Well,
use
she's
it.
like she's only had it for 5 months, so she's at the.
I think
beginning.
you could do it as an education piece, but you have to be really careful because they're like, if you say you're in the freezing stage and they're like, oh my god, this is gonna get worse. I think you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. So maybe being like,
Because you can't say for sure.
takes time and movement stuff like that with adhesive capsulitis. If we keep moving it, it's not gonna get any worse.
I like it.
I think I've improved a little bit.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You want to hear my couple thoughts?
Go ahead, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Well, I think a big thing that she said in this objective was like she's been to physical therapy before and she didn't like it because it made her worse.
Yep.
So that probably should be a discussion on day 1 about what to expect. Like, hey, we're gonna do some things that hopefully will make you feel better, but there's also gonna be some stuff will bring on your symptoms. That's okay. Or like talk to her about it. Yes.
Do a little bit of motivational interviewing, open-ended questions. Why didn't you like your previous experience in therapy?
What she said made it feeling worse.
I know. What are some of the movements that you did or what are some things that you didn't like or liked about your last therapy session? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
Giving open-ended questions, not just, I didn't like it because I didn't like it. What made you feel negative about your past previous experiences?
Yeah. That'll help direct treatment.
Yeah, that'll totally. Yeah.
Also, I liked how you talked about like, I would work on her neck a little bit because it hurts to move her shoulder, especially if she's in high severity. Like, she's probably in the symptom modulation phase
right now. Yeah.
Okay, so like, we need to find some things to build rapport, probably to make her feel a little bit better.
Build that therapeutic alliance.
If you want to do some active stuff while also not flaring it up, doing some exercises at the neck or the thoracic spine. That's going to work some muscles that are going to help that area while also probably not, because it's in the objective, it didn't hurt to do that. So like, let's move your neck and back. That doesn't hurt, but it'll still strengthen the muscles. Mm-hmm. Start there and then do some like manual stuff on her shoulder and then kind of go from there.
Maybe giving her a walking program too. I don't think she didn't really say that she's like completely sedentary or anything like that. I know she's a painter, so maybe she's moving around, stuff like that, but go for a walk once a day.
Yeah.
Just to get the body moving. Motion is lotion everywhere. And maybe that helped calm down a little bit. It was a really good case study. It was a really complex patient.
Yeah, it was a good one. I think if you saw this patient like in the moment, it would be a good one.
It'd be pretty difficult. Yeah.
It would be.
You really have to think. And meeting the patient where they're at with, and you have a lot of contextual factors and yellow flags at play of, I don't know where I was going with that. Like,
yeah. Just like when there's so much going on.
So much going on. You have to understand there's a lot going on for them, and being able to help them, or being able to understand and show listening skills that, okay, there's a lot of things going on here right now. We're not only worried about your shoulder, but we care for the whole patient, holistic approach.
Yeah.
Make them feel more comfortable with the situation.
Get her to laugh a bit, maybe in the first session.
Tell a couple jokes. Where are you from?
Like, hey, I know a guy. If you're divorced, I don't know.
I don't know if I'd rip that one.
Yeah, maybe not.
I
Maybe
don't
a few
think
months down the
I don't
line.
think I'd say that.
Yeah, maybe don't say
Probably
that.
not that one. That's probably a sensitive topic. Good pod. Good episode.
This has been episode 20 of the Mostly PT podcast.
We'll see you in the next one.